The rematch we've all been waiting for is finally here. We ended last week knowing that Sanraku's first and most important opponent was here for a rematch. Now, granted, he wasn't one who summoned. It was obviously this little zoo guild. And I walked in this episode thinking they were almost immediately going to get wiped out. That they were going to be, a little too arrogant. And to my surprise, they actually did rather well. They pretty much put the wolf down for a bit. They tied it up like they would a dragon, apparently, in this game. And to their credit, did massively well. And because of that, we actually got some decent information. The biggest of which is that it's gonna be potentially more than a single wolf fight. So, the main body that popped up seemingly is indeed the main body. But, yeah, you pin that one down too much, it doesn't quite matter because the essence of darkness itself can pop up from anywhere there's at least a shadow. We see that in the episode that, despite it being nighttime, anywhere where there was a clear shadow, it could pop up from, whether that was the night sky when the moon was completely covered, which is such a cool detail, or the shadows from behind. The fact that they were going up against two wolves, and that shadowy wolf was a big, big boy. Man. Saiger Zero, Sanraku versus the big bad wolf. I'm 50-50 if they can win it, but damn am I excited to see. Full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and good hype. It's over there exclusively. So, the end of the episode's probably my favorite point overall. I mean, if you want to know, do I think the fight was cool and hype? Yes, I absolutely did. But the thing about the end of the episode is it's slightly frustrating in a good way, because Sanraku's he's put himself behind a rock in a hard place. Because ultimately, we know in terms of his gamer mentality, he does want to be the first one to clear things and do things. And, ultimately information, especially in an online MMO RPG like this, yeah, I get it. He doesn't actually know Saiger Zero to the same degree we do. So he doesn't know about her absolute love for him. And, at the end of the day, even his two closest allies, you can't really trust them that much either. Like, at a moment's notice, they may try to jump and kill him or sell him out, right? So at the end of the day, he doesn't have a lot of experience with a lot of people that could really be trusted to probably the degree Saiger Zero could. But at the same time, here's this amazing opponent. I really want to fight, but goddamn. Even he knows there's a good chance he's not going to win here. And whatever information we get, she could then pass on to someone. She could sell it. I mean, literally one of his most trusted allies is already selling information to pay off her debt. Even if the information isn't completely on the nose, it doesn't change the fact that he has a believable concern. But at the same time, how much fun can you have in a video game when all you do is worry about if someone's going to do something before you, or can you trust this or that? At a certain point, the game would stop becoming fun because you're just stressed everyone's ready to stab you in the back, or you're not going to be able to do things faster than other people. And I really like how Saiger Zero did the conversation there, because she doesn't know exactly what he's thinking, just this is way different than the Sanraku I know, because normally he'd just be rushing in for this amazing opponent. And I love the idea that she pretty much starts with like, yeah, I don't really have the same passion as, these people, but like at the end of the day, it's just, you gotta have fun. You gotta like stop stressing about the little details and just know that like, sometimes you just gotta push on. And I like the back and forth they had there, because for Sanraku, yes, take shit seriously, but at the same time, worry about those little details later. You have the opportunity to fight something most people in this game are never gonna fight, and this is your second time, mind you. Worry about what happens later. The fact that she's literally confirming too that like she doesn't have a lot of like intense motivations behind this shit, but if you want to fight, I will fight with you, and we're gonna fight. I think if this fight lasts longer than next episode, they have a very strong possibility of winning. However, if they end in some sort of cliffhanger where like, one of them is eliminated, it's probably not going to be looking good. The thing about it is I think some people forget, just because we're following Sanraku does not mean he's going to win everything, right? At the end of the day, the previous boss they fought, Weathermon, we had 3 party members, we perfectly planned this thing out, we had a lot of information beforehand, and they spent millions and millions on items and accessories. Without pencils like revival orbs and shit, they wouldn't have won. I don't think we got those. We do have the vault, which will be very nice. So there's a different bonus in that way. But yeah, like it's just because you're following an MC doesn't mean in the show that he's guaranteed to win. He does die sometimes, and this is going to be a very difficult fight. And even if he does succeed here, it doesn't mean he's going to guarantee win the next big boss, right? And I think sometimes people forget that, like, the Weathermon fight didn't just happen because of power of friendship. Hell, if anything, our power of friendship was toxic friendship. But yeah, we got it done, but it was difficult to do so. And we're down a person, and I don't want to hear, well, Saiger Zero is very strong, so therefore she... Not really. Saiger Zero is strong, but we're still down a man. 3 versus 2 is a very big difference for a unique scenario that is designed in mind with clans fighting it, right? So, yes, as far as we know, this thing might only have 2 bodies max, but what happens if there's a third that can pop up? We don't know. There's a lot of uncertainties about where this fight can go. And hell, there's a lot of uncertainties if we can even defeat it, because as we know, these bosses are tied to unique scenarios and story points. They might get a certain way in, and they can't progress further because they don't have the quest requirements. A lot of uncertainties, and that's what makes it exciting, because if we just walked into this saying, yeah, Sanraku's got it, I mean, sure, there's some fun just seeing some cool action, but there wouldn't be any narrative motivation behind it, because you just assume they're going to win. This isn't a battle shonen where power of friendship succeeds. It's all about game mechanics and strategy and tactics, and they're doing a great job. I did actually appreciate how good the Zoo Guild did. Initially, not so much. They're like, we fortify our shields, and then they get slammed into a wall. Once they busted out the cool restraining spell, though, that's when shit was really getting cool. So they like summon a bunch of triangles, and then it just like it wraps around the limbs and just like pulls it down. Really cool. And I think probably one of the most gamer things I've seen. Like 3 or 4 of them immediately entered photo mode. They're like, hey, hold on a second, this thing's restrained. Which honestly, respect. I mean, even though collectively the game knows if someone's beaten these monsters because there's like a big announcement and shit, I love the idea that you pretty much got your Christmas card out of the way of like, yeah, I did this. Because that's bragging rights in of itself. Like, who has photo evidence that they were able to pin down the big bad wolf and make it docile for even a brief moment? Not many. Very cool stuff. If you would have told me before this episode aired that we wouldn't get much of Sanraku at all, it would mostly be on them, I would have said, oh, that's not really what I'm hoping to see. But no, actually, this was the appropriate way. We got a lot of information. Let's see where they go. Your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Daniel Koskell, Samal Jolf, Connor Brown, GR Vallis, Pav, Mori, Pickrick 542, Thor Linsgard, and we also have Vi. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.